Bangladesh. In this book from 1978, there are some things said about it, and it is mostly focusing on the sufferings of the people which are living there during the 1970s. And the book explains the disadvantages, geological, geographical, political, cultural, historical, and climatological, which are the reasons why the people are suffering there. Now, the book says then, for example, that there can be cyclones. And there was, for example, in the year 1970, a cyclone, so a very big storm, through which 500,000 people died. Or there is the monsoon in the summer months, and if that fails, there's drought. And there are the rivers Ganges and Brahmaputra, and the whole country is very flat, just 30 meters high, just by Chittagong, where it is 300 meters high. So it's just very low, and there can be a lot of flooding, and sometimes it is not possible to distinguish between flooded area and lakes and rivers and so on. And then there is written that there's also now coal, or just poor quality coal, and now larger mineral deposits. So industrialization based on extracting minerals isn't working. And then the book says that the region Bengal, it's not explained what now exactly is Bengal, so I don't know exactly, but the region Bengal was known for muslin and silk. But when during the British rule of India, and partially of Bengal obviously, I guess, then the center of Bengal was moved to the western part of Bengal around Calcutta, with the main port. And now the jute, which is something, was grown in eastern Pakistan, or is still, and then in the mills in western Pakistan around Calcutta, processed, and then from there with the main ports probably shipped on. And now when India was partitioned in 1947, then the western part of Bengal seems to, the book isn't saying it, seems to have stayed in India. So there was, for example, Fazlul Haq in 1947, and he, for example, advocated for a separate Muslim state. 80% of the population in the 1970s of Bangladesh are Muslim. And now India was then partitioned in 1947, and there was then West Pakistan and East Pakistan, and they were one country. So India and then West Pakistan and East Pakistan, today's Bangladesh. And for 25 years that was so. But here the book says that many people of East Pakistan were thinking that the jute when sold in Western Pakistan, the revenues of it were used to build up the industries of Western Pakistan and not of Eastern Pakistan. Many people in Eastern Pakistan felt disadvantaged through Western Pakistan, that's the book saying. And so it was when in 1970 the big cyclone, and then there was an election, and then the people voted in Sheikh Mujibur, and he wanted then, and he advocated for an autonomous Bangladesh or East Pakistan. But he was not able to reach an agreement with Mr. Bhutto, a successful politician of Western Pakistan. And then there was a bloody repression, as the books say, of the people. Hundreds were killed, as the books say, and then 9 million people fled to India, where they were housed by India, and guerrillas were trained by India. And the book says that then Pakistanis attacked a surprise attack on an Indian airfield. And then the book says that following that, India entered into eastern Pakistan, and within 13 days overthrew, together with the guerrillas, the Western Pakistani rule in East Pakistan. And then in December 1971, Bangladesh, as an independent state, was with the capital Dhaka. And that is according to the Reader's Digest Library of Modern Knowledge, Book 3, Part 22, Regions of the Earth, written by Hugh Clayton, John Carmichael, Frenchman, and D.H. Sinclair, on the pages 1130 and 1131, all written in 1978. The positions and views expressed are the ones of the source and don't necessarily align with my own or with the ones of the entity spoken of. Hi and welcome. I'm trying to learn international studies, today in Bangladesh, and after we've done with it, we're gonna do neck stretching, and if you participate in the neck stretching, then it's better die Armmuskeln. And this is part 2, and we're reading here on. We are now by history. Before the book is from 1978, so all information about Bangladesh here are from 1978. Before the British came to India in the 17th century, East Bengal had seen prosperous times and was noted for its silk and muslin. I don't know what that is. Maybe we're going to look up in a moment. So East Bengal, so Bangladesh, Bengal. Maybe that part was known as East Bengal. Okay. And they saying it was a prosperous country with many silk and muslin, or noted for silk and muslin. However, under the British, the center of prosperity moved to West Bengal, particularly to Calcutta. Okay, it moved to Calcutta some days later. In the political debate before Indian independence in 1947, East Bengal's largely Muslim population included leaders such as Fazlul Haq, who was a strong advocate of a separate Muslim state, Pakistan. Okay, the years following the Indian independence in 1947, the people of East Bengal, which is today's Bangladesh, were Muslim by religion, and one of the important people there was Fazlul Haq, and he was advocating for having a separate Muslim state than Pakistan. We already have here that after a year of bloody struggle, in 1971, Bangladesh got its independence from Pakistan. Okay, people wanted Pakistan, a separate Muslim state Pakistan. Some people. Other leaders urged the creation of a separate united Bengal. So what did the other person wanted? A separate Muslim state, others a separate united Bengal. So just based on these two informations, we cannot understand it. However, Bengal was split when India was partitioned on independence. So it was parted. When India became independent in 1947, it was parted, and when Bengal was split. East Bengal, Bangladesh, found itself part of Pakistan, whose natural center and leadership were 1,600 kilometers away to the west in Karachi. So Bengal is by Pakistan and by Bangladesh, but they were even then lying over 1,000 kilometers apart, and then the center India. Other leaders urged the creation of separate united Bengal. However, Bengal was split when India was partitioned on independence. East Bengal found itself part of Pakistan, whose natural center and leadership were 1,600 kilometers away to the west in Karachi. East Pakistan became the poor relation of West Pakistan. Okay, the center of Bengal or of Pakistan was in West Bengal or in Pakistan, and East Pakistan or Bangladesh became poorer. Partition deprived East Pakistan of its main port, Calcutta in West Bengal. The main port of Bengal was in the other part of the country, and that made it poorer. In West Bengal, which became part of India, which then became part of India. East Pakistan's main export was jute, but virtually all the jute processing mills were in or around Calcutta. So Pakistan was producing jute, I don't know what it is, jute. But that became part of the West Bengal, Pakistan, Calcutta region, or then India region. And so Bangladesh was now without the main port, Calcutta, and the main producing site around Calcutta of jute. And the center was in Karachi, in more than 2,000 kilometers away in West Pakistan. And therefore Bangladesh got poorer. New jute mills were built in East Pakistan, but resentments grew in the province. So new jute mills were built, but resentment was growing. The Bengalis claimed that the West Pakistanis used export earnings from jute grown in East Pakistan to build up their own industries, and that East Pakistan was nothing more than a colony. Okay, people in East Pakistan, some people argued that they were like a colony to West Pakistan, and they argued, or they claimed that the jute grown in East Pakistan was used by the West Pakistani to enrich themselves. In 1970, 3 elections were held in Pakistan for the first time. Okay, 1973 elections. They coincided with the catastrophic cyclone, Bengal's worst disaster for some years, when about 500,000 people were killed. The Bengalis claimed that the ruling West Pakistanis neglected to give them aid and overwhelmingly voted for Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's Awami League, which demanded autonomy from West Pakistan except in defense and foreign affairs. Okay. In 1970, 3 elections were held and there was one political party. The leader of it was the Sheikh Mujibur Rahman Awami. And he wanted an autonomous East Pakistan, still part of Pakistan and also working in defense and foreign affairs together, but ruling itself autonomous. Also in the same year, there was a catastrophic cyclone killing 500,000 people, 500,000 people. And they said that the West Pakistanis who had control over Calcutta, maybe it was already of India, or of the jute mills, or the main centers of Bangladesh, were not properly sending aid and help. As it happens with some countries, there are sometimes countries which are in one part completely different as another part. There are some countries which are a few hundred kilometers out completely differently as in some centers. So just an example, I think most people understand it, but there are some countries, maybe you can think of some, there are some centers where many people living, and then maybe at other places something else, or completely different region, completely different agriculture or something. There's maybe a country in mind where it is also, where it is one country also today, but there's completely different at other places, completely different distribution of wealth or people or work or agriculture or geography or geology or something completely different. Sheikh Mujib could not reach agreement with Pakistan's military rulers or with Mr. Bhutto, the most successful politician in West Pakistan. The Pakistani president Yahya Khan then organized a bloody repression of the East, is here said. Hundreds of Bengalis were killed by the army and civil war broke out in March 71. Nearly 9 million refugees fled to India. Sheikh Mujib was arrested and tried for treason. So, the Sheikh Mujib, who was the leader of the party who wanted autonomy of East Pakistan, tried to have an agreement, as he said he had tried to have an agreement with the Pakistani military and Mr. Bhutto, the most successful politician in West Pakistan. He has then said that the Pakistani president Yahya Khan organized a bloody repression and then a civil war broke out. 9 million people fled to India. For 9 months, India housed and fed the refugees and helped to train and arm young guerrillas. After a surprise attack on Indian airfields by the Pakistani Air Force, Indian troops entered East Pakistan. After a surprise attack on Indian airfields by the Pakistani Air Force, Indian troops entered East Pakistan. So people fled 9 million. They don't say from what region, probably from East Pakistan. 9 million people came to India. They were fed and helped to be trained to become soldiers or guerrillas. And when Western Pakistan made a surprise attack on India, and when India marched into East Pakistan, but entered, he has not said invaded, entered. In a lightning campaign lasting only 13 days, Indians and guerrillas crushed Pakistan in the east. When the independent state of Bangladesh was born, Indians and guerrillas crushed Pakistan in the east. But if it crushed Pakistan in the east, Bangladesh is a part of the east. Invaded they now the eastern or the western part? I think I know what it is. It is civil war in East Pakistan. So it is not fighting East Pakistan against West Pakistan. It is civil war inside East Pakistan. Okay, civil war in East Pakistan, and then in the Indian state, or people from India enter East Pakistan and are supporting the East Pakistani and overthrowing the East Pakistani government to become, followed then by becoming the independent Bangladesh. So December 71. Okay. Sheikh Mujib remained in prison in West Pakistan on a sentence of death until 72 when Mr. Bhutto, the president, released him. He returned home via London and Delhi to cheering crowds and painstakingly constructed a republican constitution which came into effect at the end of 72. Okay, Sheikh Mujib, that was East Pakistan. The person which the people had voted for to become, who was advocating for an autonomous East Pakistan. He remained in prison under sentence of death, then released by Mr. Bhutto, the president of West Pakistan. He was in West Pakistan in prison. He returned then via London and Delhi to cheering crowds and painstakingly constructed a Republican constitution which came into effect at the end of 72 in Bangladesh. Okay, he was imprisoned in West Pakistan, then came to London and Delhi, came back to East Pakistan and constructed a Republican constitution. After 2 years, Sheikh Mujib, appalled by the levels of corruption in the government and his own failure to alleviate the country's problems, set up a one-party state with himself as president. However, 75, Sheikh Mujib was overthrown and killed in a coup by young army officers. A cabinet colleague, Kandakar Mushtaq Ahmed, took over as head of an uneasy coalition of soldiers and civilians. Okay, he constructed a Republican constitution. 2 years did they work like that, but Sheikh Mujib didn't find that it worked, and he himself put himself on as president of a one-party state. Then there was a military coup, and he was killed. And a cabinet colleague, Kanda Mutashke Ahmed, took over. In November 75, there were 2 more coups, and the new leader, Major General Zia-ur-Rahman, proclaimed martial law. General Zia became president 77, and the country achieved economic growth of 12% a year. Okay, here the book ends. It's written in 1978, so it ends of 1977. Population 80 million already in the 70s. Language Bengali and English. And loot, rice, sugarcane, tobacco, cotton, tea. Where's the capital there? Dakar. Dakar's the capital. Okay, we already know. If you were here for international studies, you can go directly to the next part of international studies, where we start to read that entry again and try to make a little presentation out of it and saying the things which are probably not outdated about Bangladesh. If you stay here and participate in the next stretching as meditations, go and step a leg, breathe in and reach with the fingertips to the sides. Out and down again. In and reach in front. High up and the back. Arms to the sides and circle it around with the arms. Change the reach. Middle and down. Pull up, shoulders back, breathe in. And out, bring the head over to one side. The head down to the shoulder. Breathe and lift the gaze. Out to the other side. Breathe again in. Out, chin down to the shoulder. And lift the gaze. Middle. And out one side again, breathe in. And out, and circle the head over. Breathe again in. Halfway out, and circle the head back. Yeah. Palms together, elbows together, breathe and reach up. Up and down. In and up. Out and down. Arms back in. Out, reach in front. In and back. Out and up in front. Have the feet standing together, one arm behind the back, breathe in one arm up. And out, bring the head over to the side, down pull. Breathe in. Out, look to the hand on top of the head. Hand down, arm behind the back, in arm up. Out, bring the head over. Breathe in. Out, look up. And you don't have to have the legs standing shoulder wide apart. Intertwine the fingers, bring them over to one side, shoulders back, breathe in. Out, head over to the side where the hands are, chin down to the shoulder, pull the upper shoulder in and down, breathe out. Breathe in, lift the gaze, over to the other side, hands over, breathe in. Out, chin down, pull the arm and the shoulder down. Breathe in, middle, down. Feet together, breathe in, the arms up. Lean back, open the chest to the sky. In and up. Out, lean back. In and up. Out and down. In the arms up, hands to touch. That was the stretching. I have neck stretching. Thank you very much, and thanks.